Welcome back to liposuction class. Today we're going where the money is, chicken thighs. As you can see, I'm back in my mad scientist gloves. I use chicken thighs a lot in braises and sautés, and I always remove the skin because there's usually a lot of moisture in the dish to begin with, and so I don't feel that I have to protect the meat by keeping the skin on. Even when I grill it, I remove the skin. It's just a good way to decrease the amount of fat that you have to deal with, whether it's in your sauce or in your soup or anything that you're making with chicken thighs. So I'm removing the skin, and I do have to do a little bit of cutting to do it. And again, I'm using my boning knife. You may have seen me do that with the chicken half that I trimmed. And as you can see, there is a big fat pad that runs down the edge of the chicken. This is called the dorsal aspect. That's what we would call it in medical school. And sometimes I just do a tiny bit of cutting right at the top of it till I kind of get it started. And then I can pretty much push it off. And there's about, I don't know, almost a teaspoon of fat here. And so it's good to get rid of it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't want to pierce the flesh because I don't want the chicken thighs to be dry when I cook them, and particularly if I'm grilling them where there isn't a lot of liquid, that's an issue. So now I want to swing it around and look at the other side. It's not too bad. Sometimes there's a sizable fat pad on the other side, but here there's just a tiny little piece of fat. I'm just going to cut that off. We're almost ready for side two. So we'll turn the chicken thigh over and see what we can see on the other side. Side two is a little more complicated anatomically than side one, but it's not impossible. The reason I say it's more complicated is there are blood vessels that are encased in fat that run along the bone. And I like to try to get rid of the fat that's there, but if it means that I have to destroy my chicken thigh, I won't do it. However, there's a gold mine of fat right under this muscle. This is a secret fat pad. Doesn't look like much, but when I start to get the muscle out of the way, you'll see how extensive it is. Just going to flip it around so you get a better view. It extends from the bone, which is right here, all the way down the muscle. And I want to try to slip my boning knife under the attachments, connect it to the muscle, and then I can just sort of pull it off as I cut and scrape. And this is about, it's probably close to a teaspoon or maybe even a little more. See, a lot more is there than meets the eye. So now I'm just sort of scraping and pulling and cutting a tiny bit. Success. So that was about another teaspoon. So we've done a very good job with our chicken thigh. Tonight I'm going to make a chicken stew. So I have to do 5 more of these, but as you can see, it didn't take very long and it makes a huge difference.